Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, does this team want to trade up and get the number one pick from the Bears? We will discuss. Also, some big NFL draft news dropping earlier this morning. And stay tuned later on in the show. We owe you guys some shout-outs for those of you who shared one of our videos on Twitter and tagged me in that post. All that and more coming up on today's episode of Bears Now. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Hope everybody had a fun weekend. I thought there were some good playoff games. Hopefully the Bears are in those playoff games next year. But we got a loaded show coming at you with the latest Bears news and rumors. And there is a report out there that the Indianapolis Colts want to move up and get the number one pick in the NFL draft. Blockbuster trade coming with the Colts. I think it's a possibility. We've talked about them as a team that could make sense. David Kaplan, Bears insider for ESPN 1000. He also has his own YouTube channel. Had this to say recently. He said the Colts reportedly are ready to put a deal together that would include wide receiver Michael Pittman, potentially another player, and a bevy of draft picks. It appears Indianapolis is infatuated with Will Levis, the Kentucky quarterback. Levis is expected to rocket up draft boards. Now, for the Bears side of this, and we'll talk more about Pittman a little bit later, but my early just kind of thought on him, I like Pittman. I do. Is he a number one receiver, though? I'm not saying I wouldn't take him in a trade. I think he could come in here and be a good player. He plays some big slot, can play some outside. He's been productive for the Colts, but I don't know. I think there's other trade pieces that Indianapolis has that I would much rather pursue. Again, we'll kind of take a look more at the Pittman and other asset side of this here in just a moment, but I don't know. That's my initial thought on throwing Pittman into this trade. Now, should the Bears trade down with the Colts, who have the number 4 pick? That could be the sweet spot for Chicago. Type Y for yes, type in for no. What do you guys think? Should the Bears trade down with Indianapolis? Now, you look at the NFL draft order. Again, you've got Indy at 4, and a lot of people think that could be that sweet spot. Maybe Seattle at 5, but I don't think Seattle is going to be a trade-up team unless they just fall in love with one of these quarterbacks. I don't want to trade with Detroit for divisional purposes. Maybe Vegas or Atlanta, but that's dropping a little further down in the draft because you look at the potential top 5 picks, not necessarily in order, but if a combination of Young and Stroud and Levis, if 2 of those 3 go top 3 and you have the 4th pick, that means there is a 100% chance that Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, if not both, depending on what the 4th player pick there ended up being, would be there with the number 4 pick. Again, if you have the 4th pick and 2 quarterbacks go in the top 3, it's impossible to not get one of these 2 guys. And if the Bears create their big board and decide that these 2 guys are highest on their big board, then trading down to 4 could make sense because I think you could feel pretty comfortable that one of those 2 players would be there at the number 4 pick. Now, guys, when we reach 60,000 subscribers, we're going to do a live fan-led mock draft. 60K subs. We're almost there. We're only 1,373 away. So what that means is once we reach 60,000 subscribers, our next live show, let's say we hit it on a Friday, that following Tuesday, we go live every Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central. We'll be live tomorrow. We will do a fan-led mock where we'll, mirror screen one of the mock draft simulators, and you guys will be able to make the picks. We'll do a super chat special where if someone wants to super chat to make the pick, whatever the case may be, or to make a trade, you can make that happen. So 60,000 subscribers if you want daily videos, and if you want to do a fan-led mock, go ahead and subscribe. Let's get to 60K ASAP. All right, you look at Michael Pittman now because I want to look at this a little bit further. So Michael Pittman, who's been good, his rookie year did some decent things, 500 yards and a touchdown. 2021 really burst onto the scene with over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. This year, almost 100 catches, less explosive plays, and only 4 touchdowns, 925 yards. But you have to remember that the QB play was atrocious this year. Matt Ryan couldn't stretch the field. They tried Nick Foles. That didn't work out. Sam Ehlinger's not much of a vertical thrower, so I'm not going to think that Pittman has just slowed down in terms of big plays. I think it's more to do with the quarterback. Here's my take. I like Michael Pittman, but the Colts have other players that I would rather have. Like if a player or two is going to be included in a trade with Indianapolis, there are some better options that I would take a look at, and we'll talk about those options here in just a moment. But first, we got to talk about our sponsor, and that is Rocket Money. Go download the Rocket Money app for free by going to rocketmoney.com/Bears. Now you can download it for free on iOS and Android. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 per month on subscriptions when the actual total is closer to $200 plus. That's right, you could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions that you don't even know about. There's this app that I love using that takes care of all of that for me. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. This app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. To cancel a subscription, all you got to do is press cancel. Rocket Money will take care of the rest. So download the app today. I've been saving $50-$60 per month already with Rocket Money by canceling a couple subscriptions I don't use anymore, like Xbox Live and a couple others. RocketMoney.com/Bears now. That link will be in the description and in the comments of this video. Go check it out. You will not regret it. Now, you look at some of the Colts player assets. Michael Pittman is one of them. I think he's a guy that Indy would be willing to trade if they find the quarterback that they really like. Alec Pierce had a nice rookie year. They could focus on him at receiver. But how about Quenton Nelson and DeForest Buckner? Listen, the Bears are in control. They've got the power here. I would rather have Nelson or Buckner. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't take a trade with Indy if you didn't get one of those players, but that is what I would push for first. I think wide receiver is a need, but I don't think Pittman's a true number one, so I would rather get the defensive tackle like DeForest Buckner or an elite offensive guard like Quenton Nelson. You want a top quarterback in this draft, Indy? Prove it to me. Offer one of your two biggest chips on your roster, and let's make it happen. So pick a player, Bears fans. Who would you rather have most in a trade from Indianapolis? Type QN for Quenton Nelson, type DB for DeForest Buckner, type WR for Michael Pittman. You think about what these pieces could bring to you. If you get Nelson and Jenkins is healthy, your guard position is solidified. Braxton Jones, one of your tackles. All you need is another tackle then to figure out center. DeForest Buckner, there's your three tech. Michael Pittman helps. I would take him, but I think Nelson and Buckner would be better fits. Let me know who you would most rather have. All right, let's talk about the NFL draft a little bit. C.J. Stroud has officially declared on Monday that he is heading to the NFL draft. There was some drama over the past few days. Ohio State could be offering a huge NIL deal to keep Stroud in Columbus, but he did declare today, which is the deadline for all NFL draft-eligible players to enter their name into the draft. Here's was part of Stroud's statement on social media. He said, "This process has been difficult, and the decision was one of the hardest I've ever had to make. As a kid, I dreamed of playing football at the highest level, and after much prayer, I've made the decision that it's time to turn those dreams into a reality. With that said, I'm declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft." And I mentioned a couple videos ago that C.J. Stroud should declare. Could it potentially help the Bears if he doesn't? Yeah, it could have, but I don't think it hurts the Bears mightily that he's going pro. Like, you still have the number one pick. You still have a lot of control in this draft. So now, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, clear top three quarterback prospects. Anthony Richardson, kind of the wild card. He's got the physical tools, but how well do teams like him? How will he test? How will he do it in the classroom at the combine, which is true for all these guys? We'll have to wait and see. Number one pick is still very valuable. Don't get it twisted. It's not like that pick just lost 20% of value. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. And especially if teams reportedly like Levis as much as Kaplan thinks the Colts do and other scouts and media members have mentioned, then you're still at a very good spot if you are Chicago. Now, what do you guys think? This is kind of just a general draft question. Who will be the first quarterback drafted this year? Type BY for Bryce Young. That's who I would take. CJ for CJ Stroud, or WL for Will Levis. I think it should be Young, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments section. Now, we do owe some shout-outs to those who shared our video on Twitter and tagged me in the post. I'm sure more people shared, but these are the only people that tagged me. So shout out to Roscoe at @beardown_17. Jason Howard, at Hal7878. We got Brian and Maletta Hill. Shout out to you. Justin Fields 2. Field spelled backwards, by the way. F-E-I-L-D-S. Should be F-I-E-L-D-S. Alex Eng, Daily Pancake 69. What's up? Anders Stenberg. 13. Appreciate that. Patrick P _ Mahomes with the Fields Abby there. Joe Hugh at Hugh Joe. Steve McGinnis, Stevie McGee, 1982. And then you got Cameron Nelson at Cam Nelson 515. Also OG Godbody, OG Natty Dread 1. What's up? Mr. Richie at Mr. Richie. And then Jamie, J Nitch 051916. Shout out to the real one. Shout out to everybody who shared the video on Twitter and anywhere else on social media. Really helps more people see our coverage and helps us grow. So thanks to all of you. And to those who have not subscribed, again, if we get to 60,000 subs, we will do a fan-led mock draft where you guys get to make the picks for the Chicago Bears. We'll do it live. It'll be a lot of fun. So go ahead and subscribe to Bears Now. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. And we'll see you guys soon here on the channel.